Hi there. I am your child's sixth grade science teacher. My name is Brooke Jensen, and I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited that you're watching this video. Welcome to Curriculum Night. You know, it might look a little bit different, but I'm still happy we get to at least record a video. A little bit about me before I get started. I just graduated. It is my first year teaching. I went to Illinois State University down in Bloomington Normal. Go Redbirds. And I do have a bachelor's degree in middle level education with endorsements in science, math, and language arts. I live in Yorkville, so not too far away, still with my parents. And I have one brother who goes to Grand Valley State University in Michigan. He is a sophomore and he is studying to be a nurse. I have no pets, I'm allergic, but as a lot of your kids know. But I am very excited to kind of get to know each and every one of your kids. It's been an awesome 2 weeks, and I can't wait to continue this year. As we start this year, I did send out this syllabus as well as information in an email the first day. If you did not get that, please let me know. I'm happy to send it to you as I go kind of through my contact information. But I did want to go over a few important things. I wanted to highlight some things just about science class in general as your child is transitioning into middle school, the big sixth grade. So I'm going to first start just a class overview. Very excited to have all of your kids or your one kid in my class. I'm very, very big on making mistakes. Making mistakes is a part of learning, and I encourage that in this class. We make it a norm to make mistakes because that is how we learn. So we're going to be thinking critically in here. We're going to be collaborating a lot with our table groups, and I really encourage asking questions. Communication between me and the students as well as me and you is super important. So if you ever have a question or a comment or a concern, I'm always here to help. The one thing that I ask is the parent view and student view are frequently updated. And if your child has a question or if you have a question, I really encourage the student to reach out to me first. I really want them to be able to advocate for themselves. That's one of these sixth grade skills that we're trying to build. So please, if they could reach out to me first, that'd be awesome. We can hash it out. But if you do have a question or a concern, I am always happy to take a phone call or email. I also wanted to point out Google Classroom is kind of our virtual planner this year. Announcements, links, activities, everything we do will be posted. There is a date on each post. I post every single day for the kids to see, and we walk through it in class so they know where it's at. I also put worksheets up there, so if they misplace a packet or they misplace an activity, there are blank copies. Supplies for the class. Just make sure I've told the kids, and they're awesome at this so far, is having a science folder with all of their packets in it and their science textbook is super important for our science class. We also do a lot of choose your own adventure. So having their Chromebook and their headphones will also assist them in their learning when they get to choose a virtual activity, maybe over a paper activity. And of course, the pencil pouch with the pencils and the eraser and the pens and the highlighters. Yeah. For the schedule, this is just our bell schedule as well as a district calendar. I did link it here. It does have when the quarter ends, when each quarter ends, when report cards will be sent out, holiday breaks, and all of that. Contact information, I am always available by email at brooke.jensen@cusd200.org. And I'm also available via the school's phone number. When you call, just ask for me and they'll send you to my extension. With emailing and phone calls, I just ask that you give me 24 hours to respond, and on the weekends, 48. I try and be away a little bit, at least on the weekends. And lastly, I'm starting a science newsletter. I'm hopefully starting it this week, but I'm hoping to send it out every 2 weeks just about what we're doing in class. General information, general reminders, as well as some fun activities that the students did with hopefully some pictures or maybe videos as the students are completing those activities. And that will be emailed to you hopefully every 2 weeks. For our science curriculum, we have 5 different major units that we are going to be covering over this whole year. The first one is scientific inquiry and measurement. That is what we're doing right now. We are currently in the measurement section, but we'll be moving on to graphing and the scientific method soon. After that, we will be going on to astronomy. Astronomy is a huge unit, so it's going to be broken into 2 smaller units. We're also going to do weather. Weather is also huge, so it's going to be broken into 2 smaller units. Earth's waters is closer to the end of the school year, as well as ecology. We kind of hit right in May. Textbooks, we have 4 different textbooks. We give the students one at a time. So right now they have a purple textbook, which is the science and technology. When astronomy starts, I'll be collecting that purple textbook and giving them their astronomy textbook. That way they don't have to carry around a really big, heavy textbook to class. Grading and late work and missing work and all of that fun stuff. Our grading scale is the same. We still have A's, 90 to 100, and so on. I am totally willing to round up. Everyone in here has done an amazing job so far. So that's just an individual conversation I'll have with the students as we kind of get to the end of the quarter. I will be using terminology formative and summative. When I use formative, this is an activity or an exit slip or a reflection or something that is not taken for a grade. This is solely to help me understand where your student is at, as well as help them understand where they are at going into an assignment that will be graded. A summative is a daily activity, a project, a quiz, a test that are taken for a grade. So the summatives are everything you see in student or parent view. I do a lot of activities in here that are not graded. I really want the students to think critically. I really want them to ask questions. I want them to kind of advocate for their own learning. So we do a lot of reflections. I ask them for their feedback and how they want to learn. And I also provide them a lot of choice as we kind of go through class. So far, if you've looked at your students' packets, I leave a written feedback as well as a grade out of 100 on every assignment they do. So far, it's just been the labs. This feedback is meant to help them push their thinking and push their understanding. So instead of just marking it wrong, I don't really like to do that. I circle it and I ask them a question to try and guide their understanding for understanding that question. So the written feedback will be on every assignment that we take for a grade. So if your child comes home and is like, "Mom, I don't understand why I got an 80," I do have written feedback on that lab for them or that activity. I do everything out of 100 just so it's easy for the kids. There is a rubric written on each description in parent view or student view where you can see what an 80 might mean or what a 90 might mean or what 100 means. I also highly encourage revisions and retakes on every assignment your child turns in. If your child did not get a 100, that means that there's something, even if it's really little, that they didn't understand. So I always encourage them to kind of look at the question that I asked them to kind of gauge and challenge themselves and try and get that understanding. Revisions are offered throughout the whole quarter. I encourage them to do it before the test because the whole point is to help them on that overall end of the unit test. But I do take revisions all the way up until the end of the quarter, and I will make that date known to you as well as the kids. I also encourage retakes on quizzes and tests, and I've talked to the students about this before retaking, just making sure all the work's done, because if the work wasn't done before they retake, maybe we can do something to help them improve as they move forward. Homework, as I told them, I don't love homework. I don't love to give it. Every single thing that your child brings home, if it is homework, they've had an opportunity to work on it in class. Everything we do in class, or most of the stuff we do in class, and some of it might take too long for them to actually finish in class. So it shouldn't take more than 10 or 15 minutes at home. For finding homework, it's written on my whiteboard every day, so the students write it down in their planners. If they didn't, I also post every day on Google Classroom in our virtual planner. We have a 6th grade homework page for Monroe. We don't have it live yet, but as soon as that is live, I will add that in here. And then the biweekly newsletter that I send out will have the important reminders. Late work, as I kind of talked about with revisions, I don't take off points if it's late. I do really encourage the assignments to be in kind of when the due dates are. There's a purpose to it. I want to make sure they have the basic understanding before moving on. But I do take revisions. I do take late work. I want to do everything in my power to help your child understand the content and understand the standard instead of just taking off points for maybe not turning in an assignment. So I really hope that you see that my gradebook kind of reflects that. It reflects the understanding of the standard instead of turning in late work or not turning it in. The last slide I have is our classroom promises. As I told the kids, I don't like rules. I think rules are kind of has a negative connotation to it. So we have 6 classroom promises in here. And if you click on this picture, it will bring you to a Padlet where all of my students in all 6 of my classes have kind of brainstormed what each of these promises look like. I really encourage you to click on it. It is so cool. They added GIFs or GIFs. They added videos, images, and they really reflected on what it means to have these classroom promises. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. I'm so excited your child is in my class, and I would like to do anything I can in order to help your child succeed. Have an awesome rest of your curriculum night.